So I believe in August, either August or July. I don't even know. I don't count the days. I don't celebrate being sober, but I'm basically coming up to being 5 years without a drink. That's 5 years without a single drop of alcohol, and it's been very, very enjoyable. Despite spending the best part of 10 years binge drinking, trying to stop drinking, I've tried to stop drinking 100 times, over 100 times. It's countless amounts of times. The amount of times that I've woken up and said, I'm never drinking again, I can't even begin to tell you how many times I've done that. But 5 years ago, or just under 5 years ago, I had a shift in my mindset. I saw alcohol in a different state of mind altogether and put it behind of me and never looked back. Now, all that being said, has life been easy? Has everything been easy? No, of course not. And today I'm going to unpack for you the hardest thing about quitting alcohol. Because if you're equipped and you know what's coming, if you know what's coming around the corner, and I can share my experience with you after the past 5 years, and you know what to expect, you're just going to be like, I remember that video from Leon. This is easy. I can deal with this. It's no problem. And just before we get into it, if you actually want my personal help stopping drinking, then please do click the link in the description and you can book a call and we can see if the Sober Clear program could be a good match for you. It's a program where we help business owners and professionals get control of their drinking by reframing how they view alcohol. And then we use coaching. We have a community of great people that are all supporting one another. If you want more details on that, then please click the link in the description to book a call or just head over to soberclear.com to learn a bit more about how it works. But for now, let me get back into the hardest thing about not drinking for 5 years. Now, a lot of the times on the channel, I'll say that, stopping drinking, it's not hard, it's not difficult, it's a very enjoyable thing to do, provided you see alcohol for what it is, as a poison, as something that does nothing for you. Once you can see it like that, stopping drinking is a piece of cake. It's the easiest thing I've ever done in my life. However, there's a nuance, because I say this a lot. Just because you've stopped drinking alcohol does not mean that all your problems are going to go away. It doesn't mean that tomorrow you'll stop drinking, then your wife's back in love with you. You're 20 pounds down. Your business is performing how it used to. I'm not saying that these things will happen. You've still got to actually rebuild things and do things and change. You've still got to evolve and grow and become somebody better. And I'm going to promise you one thing. If you stick on this path and you keep not drinking, something bad will happen. Eventually something bad's going to happen. A loved one will pass away. A loved one gets sick. Business collapses. These things can still happen regardless of whether you drink alcohol or not. I don't want to be negative, right? I love to spread a positive message. I love to talk about the great things that will happen. The better health, the better relationship, all the great things. We know the good things that happen when we don't drink. But I also want to be real with you. During the past 5 years of not drinking alcohol, I've had family members get very sick. I've fallen out with people. I've had bad days where I felt anxious and stressed. What am I going to do with my life? How am I going to deal with these problems? I've had those days. I've had those days where I'd wake up in the morning and I'd have such a level of anxiety that I couldn't do anything. Crippled. I've had those days. Gets better over time, but I'm not saying that I'm Mr. Perfect just because I don't drink alcohol. I have bad days. And the chance of you having bad days is 100%. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but there's external circumstances that they're coming, right? And I want to be real with you. And the problem is that for nearly 10 years, every time I had a bad situation happen in my life, what do you think I did? I escaped. Go to a bar. I'd buy a bottle from the shop. I'd drink away the pain. I'd drink away the discomfort of having to deal with a family member getting cancer. I'd drink or do something, right? I would escape. And I did this for so long. And the first few times that you get a bad day, it can be a shock. You might not be used to dealing with these kind of emotions. You might not be used to dealing with depression, with sadness, with anxiety without turning to a drink. And that can be a shock. Spending a whole day or multiple days not feeling 100%, that can happen. I remember when I first moved to Chiang Mai, when I was really trying to start something, I didn't know what I was doing exactly, but I started this nomad life when I moved to Chiang Mai. I was trying to learn all these new skills, working on the internet. I still didn't know exactly what I was going to do. I've told you guys this before, but I did not know that I would be helping people not drink alcohol. It was just chance. It was luck in some ways. But there were days in Chiang Mai where, I'd wake up with that anxiety because I had no idea what the future held. And that's where I really learned to be kind to myself. It wasn't to escape these emotions. It was to acknowledge them, to accept them, and live with them. And over time, this got easier. For me, the first year was definitely the hardest, not because I wanted to drink, but it was the hardest to deal with negative emotions, with stress, with anxiety, with not feeling 100% and not turn to drinking. Because it was new to me. It was new to me to process emotions like this. I'd never done it before. Because every other time, I'm escaping. But do you want to know something? There is good news. There is good news with all of this stuff. Because over time, when you learn to sit with pain, with negativity, with discomfort, you grow. You become somebody better. You start to become okay with being uncomfortable. Socializing without alcohol the first few times it's strange. Going on a date the first few times with alcohol, it's strange. It's outside of the comfort zone because you're so used to, falling out with somebody or meeting somebody new and always having a drink. And then after doing this again and again and again, after dealing with a few difficult days, after dealing with a few challenges, you grow. You start to become comfortable being more uncomfortable. And what do you think happens as a result of that? Well, this spreads into every single area of your life. Dealing with a difficult customer, you deal with them and you don't drink. You become better. Dealing with the everyday pressures of life, you get better at this. And I'm telling you, as a result of not drinking alcohol, the bad days now, they are so far apart from each other compared to what it was like before. It does make me start to wonder, was alcohol the cause of a lot of this pain? And I just wanted to make this video so you can prepare yourself that when those bad days come, everything's going to be okay. Because it does get easier, it does get better, provided that you stick on the path and provided that you don't go back to drinking. Because we all know what happens, right? We get the bad day, we're like, you know what, I'm just going to have one today. I'll just take the edge off just for today. The kids have been playing up for weeks now. I've just have one. And then the cycle starts again. And it's time for you to step up to the challenges of life without escaping, without this selfish, weak behavior of going back to the bottle. Because you can do this. I know you can. You wouldn't be watching this video if you didn't know that there was a possibility for you to change. And keep going. I just want to say one last thing. That if you're watching this channel, if you're watching these videos, if you're trying to change, I respect you. Because we're basically going against the majority. The majority of people want you to drink. The majority of people want you to have that one drink. Not only because there's a financial incentive, but other drinkers, they don't want to drink on their own. There are people out there that want you to drink. But I don't. I want you to stick on this path. I want you to deal with bad days. And I want you to come out the other side as a stronger, better person. So just keep going. And if you click the video on the screen now, you can learn how Bradley Cooper stopped drinking alcohol. Have a great day.